We're closing out Saw Month 2009 with my thoughts on the Saw video game. Now, I know a lot of you have been dying ever since I uploaded that teaser at the start of the month. Well, the wait is over. Here's what I thought of the Saw video game. This won't really be a review per se, just of my thoughts on the game. This video will get to some spoilers, so be cautious. Now, my first thought when I read about this game before it even came out was, why do you play as Detective Tapp? Now, I don't have a problem with it, but Tapp just seems like one of the most random Saw characters to play as. I think it would have been more interesting to play as Eric Matthews from Saw 2, but, you know, whatever. Okay, so what's the plot of the game? The plot of the game is that Jigsaw had someone heal the bullet wound Tapp had after being shot by Zepp while they were on their way to the Saw bathroom. Jigsaw then places Tapp inside an abandoned insane asylum and forces him to work his way through if he wishes to find out who Jigsaw is and to survive. You're not the only one in the asylum, though. There are plenty of enemies in the asylum who all want to kill you, since Jigsaw has planted a key inside your body. One thing I'm really pissed off about is simply the fact that Konami lied to us. In all my experiences with the Saw video game, never once did I have the choice to simply let people die in their traps. All the time I had to save them or else I couldn't continue the game. Didn't Konami mention that you could choose to either save people in their traps or let them die? Why didn't they just keep true to their word then? I mean, that really bugged the hell out of me, since some of the puzzles in the traps were extremely difficult to do. Oswald's trap was such a pain in the ass. I spent well over an hour with that damn puzzle. The easiest trap by far was Melissa Sings. I did that one in one try. But now let's discuss the traps for a moment, since traps are one of the biggest attractions of the Saw films. The first, what I like to call boss trap, was Amanda's. She was strapped to a chair and you had to get the blue stuff to the right and the red stuff to the left. Now, why the hell did Konami just have to toss the puzzle to you and expect you to figure out what to do? It's like someone gives you a landmine, tells you to disarm it, and walks away. Like, how the hell are you supposed to know how to disable that mine? How are you supposed to figure out the puzzle? That's what a puzzle is, dude. Yeah, well, fuck. Opie's trap is also fairly difficult. Those hose puzzles are such a pain in the ass as well. It would suck to be burned alive. Jeff's trap is pretty brutal too. Melissa's was also pretty unique. She was stuck on a pillow with the threat of an Iron Maiden closing on her. Who the hell is Jennings Foster? Well, his trap was a pain in the ass at the last puzzle, but it was cool to see the pendulum trap from Saw 5 make an appearance in the game. Now, speaking of making appearances in the game, why in the holy hell did the Saw bathroom not make an appearance in the game? The Saw bathroom is a huge part of the series. Hell, that trap was the main focus of the first movie, and we saw it in half the fucking series. Like, seriously, if the game takes place between the first and second movies, the Saw bathroom should be in the goddamn game. It seriously pissed me off how it wasn't in the game. Unless the room you started in was a Saw bathroom, but it can't be. Like, seriously, the Saw bathroom that doesn't have stalls, doesn't have a fucking TV, then why the hell is it so spot on in the main menu? It looks incredible in the main menu, but it's a piece of ever-living fuck in the game. And I'm not trying to be funny either. I'm seriously pissed the fuck off by this. Seriously, the first movie was my favorite of the series, and the bathroom trap is my favorite trap of the franchise. And it's fucking horseshit they didn't make it in the goddamn game. Well, now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the puzzles of the Saw game. You've got the rope one, which I've already mentioned is pretty annoying. Another puzzle is the gears puzzle. With this one, you have two gears starting off. One of them is spinning and the other one isn't. You have to put varying sizes across the board to make the other one spin. Pretty easy. The last one I can remember is the fuse box puzzle. And what a pain in the ass this one was. You had to arrange a fuse box in order to make all the colors green. It's difficult to explain, but I'm going to hate fuse boxes for the rest of my goddamn life. They were especially a pain in the ass during Oswald's trap. Fuck. Now, the combat system. Oh god, the combat system. I can't even explain in words how flawed the combat system is. First of all, it's a big problem that you can't even log on to the person who's attacking you, and it takes forever for Tapp to hit the enemy, even if you're doing a quick attack. The bottom line, the combat system, it just sucks. Overall, it may seem like I hate the game, but I don't. I agree with IGN's preview. It was decent, it had its moments, but really, I think the game is pretty forgettable. It felt more like a Silent Hill game than a Saw game. In a way, it kind of felt like a mix between Silent Hill and Manhunt, two of my favorite games ever. So, you'd think that this game would be awesome, but it really isn't. I'll admit it, I was very disappointed with this game. It just didn't live up to the hype. Don't get me wrong though, it was a decent game. The Asylum was very well done, the music during the game really captured the moment. Aesthetically, the game looked really good. The plot wasn't the greatest, but I guess it was good enough. Tobin Bell was also incredible in this game. He is a goddamn legend. His voice work was just amazing in this game. The others were subpar. Oh, and another thing, even though I've already said this, fuck what Konami said. You have to save everybody you meet who's in a trap, and everybody in the asylum is out to get you. Nobody wants to work with you except Oswald, who dies seconds after you save him anyway, so it doesn't even fucking matter. The endings also really sucked. The big twist ending, if you could even call it that, was that Melissa was posing as Jigsaw. Her mouth was sewn shut, and she had to get you far in the asylum. Cat beats the hell out of her in one of the most pathetic beatdown scenes I've ever seen in any video game. A tape player then appears and explains how Melissa agreed to work with Jigsaw in order to see her son again. So, overall, the game was a disappointment. It wasn't horrible, though. It was fun, but it was way, way too short, and didn't feel enough like Saw. I thought I was playing Silent Hill several times during the game. Would I recommend it? I recommend it as a rental, but I don't know if I'd recommend it as a purchase. I mean, it's a good game to play if it's a rainy day and you just feel like playing something that'll hold you over till the rain stops. With some tweaks and some little improvements, this game could have been awesome. I've heard that Konami wants Saw to be the spiritual successor to Silent Hill, which I wouldn't mind. Just tweak the game a bit and you have yourself a winner. Oh, and I also read before the game was released that Gordon's fate would be revealed, but no, it wasn't, which was a big, big letdown for me personally. Oh, and how the hell can you have a Saw video game without the fucking Saw theme music? Like, seriously, how the hell? But overall, what do I think of the game? I think it's decent at best, and would I recommend it? I'm not so sure if I would.